It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busting. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Jet our night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy is. But I say, live and level, live and level. We on the MIC. Live and level, live and level. We just talking them games. Live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level. What's up, people? This is your boy Levelhead back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. We are in the building. I got my crew here, D2K, Mr. Keith Norris, and the one, the only K-Bump 20. As you can see, they all still muted. But I'm here, so I can get to talk.
I forgot.
Yeah, y'all was all muted trying to leave me hanging. What's good, fellas?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. In game is what's up. In game, are y'all ready?
I'm ready, bro. I've been trying to stay away from spoilers.
Man,
that's not
I
gonna
stopped
happen.
watching trailers about 3 months
Speaking
ago.
of spoilers,
I stopped watching trailers.
I had a scare this morning, bro. I was strolling through my YouTube, and you know how they give you the recommendations. One of them showed something I was hoping it wasn't real, so I didn't click on it, but I quickly strolled past it. It was kind of saying someone was gonna die, and I was like, man, I can't get past it fast enough. But anyway, I chose to kind of block it out of my mental Rolodex. Hopefully, I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't care. It didn't.
Block
anyway,
what out?
Go ahead.
You're gonna make them say.
I said block what out?
Yeah, I ain't gonna say it. I'm not saying that. I'm trying to block it out. I'm barely recalling to talk to y'all about it. But anyway, what's good, people? This is your this is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. We are here to talk about games, movies, and all type of things. I just want to know what y'all think, man, about this movie. Are y'all excited? What's your expectation? I'm gonna start with Keith. What's your expectation for the end game, man?
I don't have any expectation. I'm going in watching this movie for what it is. I'm not trying to get deep into the lore. We already know that it's gonna be good. So I'm just like y'all. I'm trying to stay away from the spoilers, rumors. Like I don't care. I'm not clicking on your videos. This is my movie. It's gonna be 3 hours, and let me enjoy it.
K-Ball.
Blah blah blah. Keith. My hype level is on 10,000. You tripping? I'm going in with no expectations. I am amped. I am hyped. I am pumped. I am psyched. This is 10, 11 years of movies I've been watching for this one moment. I ain't want to go in there all leveled, all calm. I'm going in there freaking
You going
out.
in and out, man. What's going on with you, K-Bub? You haven't...
Oh, I'm going in and out? Oh, no, we can't have that.
Snapping his fingers again?
Yeah, man. Welcome to the podcast.
I'm at the...
We got the video game her is in here. She said late question. We a little late. Dark Sun Rider, welcome to the show. All right, finish your thoughts, K-Bone, if you still there. If not, D2K, what's your
Yeah, I'm still here.
Go ahead.
Let me know if I keep fading. Let me know if I keep fading.
Steady snapping, man. He's steady snapping.
I'm steady fading. All right, well, let D2K go. I'm trying to see if I can figure it out. What's going on?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Keith. I don't have any expectations going in, other than the fact that just wrapping up all the stuff that we've been building up to all this time, and It should be entertaining. From what I hear, even the actors don't know what the ending is going to be.
Wow.
They filmed like 5 different endings, so
They don't know what
they don't know which ending that we are actually going to see at the end.
Wow.
So that's actually pretty slick. So, you know, I'm definitely going to enjoy it. I'm gonna be real tired though because I got to work that day. But
Man.
Okay. I'm with K-Bun, bro. This 10 years in the making. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. So, I didn't buy my tickets early, but I'm gonna try to catch either a super late show or extreme.
Good luck with that.
I'm gonna try to. I don't know how it's gonna be, but I'm gonna look on there and see if I can, like I said, if I can catch a super duper late or extremely early. One of the two, man. I'm gonna look up.
I brought my tickets. I brought tickets for everybody, and I brought them on Sunday, and it was already almost filled up all the way to the back. On Sunday.
I'll find one. I ain't worried about it. I'll find one. Y'all not gonna be talking about it, and I can't have a conversation with you. That ain't happening. Not this time.
You have to put you in a closet somewhere.
just take your phone and D2K and FaceTime it so I can. But anyway, man, this is the show.
Hey, check me out. Am I on? Is it sounding better? I'm still the same.
Yeah,
you on. You sound better.
Yeah.
I'm good. All right, so I do want to say
we're going on to the next topic. So
no, you gonna let me get this out. You gonna let me get so I heard I agree with Level. I know I don't say that much, but I agree with Level. I'm excited. I'm so excited for this movie. I am driving 3.5 hours to watch this movie.
You're driving
3.5 hours because 3.5 hours away because the first Avengers movie, not the first, Infinity War, I saw in I was in Brussels, and we went to a 4D movie theater, and it was like one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in the 4D movie theater. So this year, we're gonna be in the States, but the closest movie theater is in KC, down there by by Shaw. And so I'm going down to KC for the weekend to check out to watch the new movie. It's west.
Okay, over.
West.
Okay, I'm with
you. Yeah, it's over. Going over there towards KC to watch it in 4D. Got my my wife with me, my brother, his kids, my mom.
That's
my
why
dad,
you're going in and out, because you're going so far to see it. Now you're going in and out again, but no, go ahead and finish your statement.
No, that was it. That was it. I'm just going to KC, the 4D movie theater.
Well, we need you to stay at home for this podcast so we can have this conversation, because you phasing in and out, man. You like that girl in Ant-Man and the Wasp. You here and there. You hear one minute and gone the next. But anyway,
y'all trying to do me, huh? Okay.
What happened?
In the video game.
We got Haruhi, I think that's how you said it, in the podcast. What's up? Did I say it right? I jacked that all up. You are the weakest link. Anyway. So we got a few topics here to discuss, and then we got one that kind of organically started in the hangout that we're going to bring to your listening ears. But let's get into this first topic, man. So Nintendo came out with their, I guess, their annual briefing with with sales and talking to their all those who have stocks with them and stuff like that, right? And then how they, and of course they selling well. We ain't in here to talk about the sales, but you know, the whole big thing about the Mini, the Pro, is it real? Is it fake? Well, the president said that they have no plans on revealing or discussing the Mini or any iteration or new SKU of the the Switch at E3 2019. So I want to throw this at Keith first. What did you think? And I'm gonna look up the actual article and quote them directly so you can get a better understanding of what he said. But what was your thoughts on what he had to say?
I just think I don't know. I'm playing this game, man. Hey, somebody else go right quick.
Go ahead, D2.
Well, this is the second time that he's made this statement that Nintendo doesn't have any immediate plans to reveal any new hardware, where there's nothing in the pipeline at this particular moment. And this time, they kind of framed it by saying that we have no plans to reveal anything at E3. Now, just playing devil's advocate for the Nintendo fans out there, because I know they're going to bring this up anyway, so I might as well just go there right away. Just because they said that they're not going to reveal anything at E3 doesn't mean that they still aren't working on something.
Right.
Typically, when you're talking about a revision of a console, they really don't talk about that much at E3 unless it's something really significant. If it's something that's revision, like they don't really talk about revisions for the 3DS at E3s in the past, or I don't think they talked about the PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox One X. We first heard about those outside of E3, I believe. It's when you're talking about revisions of a console, you're adding something and this little piece attachment here. That usually happens outside of E3. E3 is usually for announcing something brand new. So, we know Nintendo's not working on anything brand new in terms of a new console, because if they were, they probably wouldn't even say what they said. So there still could be something coming down the line somewhere down this year. I think a mini makes more sense from a fiscal standpoint, just to streamline it a little bit, maybe make it a little bit cheaper, make it just an all portable version, a dockless version of the Switch. There's no real advantage of trying to make a Switch Pro, quote unquote, because it doesn't get you anywhere in the long scheme of things. A Switch Mini makes more sense. Possibly adding 3DS functionality to it, so you could play 3DS games in there or something like that would be cool. But we'll see what happens. But I think that based off of what he said, people can just settle down and just say, let's just sit back and watch what they do and stop making suppositions about what they're going to do.
Right. Let me do this. I kind of jumped the gun. We didn't even do what you've been gaming on, bro. I'm really all out of whack. Anyway, so let's do that real quick, and then we'll jump back to this topic. Since Keith is already clanking that clanking, what you been gaming on, bro?
Right now I'm playing Blast and Master 02, trying to finish this so I can move on to something else. I put Horizon Zero Dawn back in the PlayStation, so I'm finna try to give it another shot. Not saying that it was a bad game or anything like that, just I wasn't in the right space to play it. So now I'm finna try to really put some focus and energy toward it. So that's what I've been gaming on.
Okay. I see that K-Bomb dropped out. So D2K, what you been gaming on, bro?
I don't really remember. I mean, I know I played something new. I just don't remember what it was. I know I played a little bit of Division 2 over my friend's house. There was another. And that's what I played. The World War Z. That's what I played. World War Z. I played that game. That game is actually kind of cool. I mean, it's if you've seen the movie, it literally is just like that movie. The zombies act just like they do in that movie. They're coming at you at top speed. They're climbing all over each other. They're making zombie pyramids to climb up walls and everything. And it's the controls are pretty standard to any other zombie games. It's pretty much there's nothing about that really stands out like, oh, this is different from Left 4 Dead or Resident Evil or something like that. It's just a typical zombie game, but it's it's a good movie game. If this game had came out right when World War Z came out, it probably would have been a big hit. But it's kind of out of sight, out of mind type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of fun playing it. I enjoyed it.
Okay. As for me, I recently purchased that Cuphead for the Switch, and I was going to my in-laws over the weekend, so I had to download and took it up there and got into it. I really, first of all, let me say it's a good game, very good game, very engaging game, fun game. The visuals are beautiful. I mean, it's really smooth and cool to see that they pulled that off and they literally drew all that's all hand drawn. That was pretty cool, and like I said, I enjoyed all that. But the game is real tricky, and they kind of deceive you with the first few bosses that you go against. They seem like, oh, this ain't easy, but it's not extremely hard. You're gonna fail a whole lot, you're gonna die a whole lot, it's challenging, but it's within the realm of, I think, challenging but not overbearing. So you get through the first wave of different bosses to get over to the other side to fight your second tier bosses. And I'm gonna tell you right now, your boy sucks. I suck, man. I suck so bad at this game. I thought I had skills. I have no skills. I have no reason to touch that Pro Controller anymore. I can't beat now one. I tried to beat the genie. I can't beat the genie. I tried to beat the clown who head blows up like a balloon, and he's on a roller coaster. I can't beat none of it, man. And I'm like, God, I don't know who beat this and how they beat it. But right now, Leveled Head is not got the skill set to do it just yet. I'm getting close. I haven't given up. I haven't thrown in the towel. I ain't waving the white flag. But this game is straight subdued. Your boy, I'm feeling like a straight simp. I'm feeling like I have no skills. I shouldn't be proud to be calling myself a gamer. This game has stumped me, man. I don't know where you got to on it, Keith, but this game is hard, bro. And they trick you with them first 7 bosses. This ain't nothing. You start breezing through it after you kind of get the mechanics down and what they want you to do, and you kind of learn they patterns, and you be like, oh, this ain't nothing. Nah, this game is ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. So, but I'm enjoying it. I'm thinking about buying that Hollow Knight. I was asking Keith about it, and he said he played a little bit of it, but not enough to really give me an opinion on it. So if you own Hollow Knight in the comment section, let me know what you think about it, because your boy thinking about purchasing that literally tonight once I get off this podcast. But that's what I've been gaming on. I also played Mario Kart this week. I got to turn my PlayStation back on and kind of finish that Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I have not played that game in months. And
is that the second one?
That's the third one. That's this.
It's third Shadow.
No, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Is it? Is it Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Rise was the second one, right?
Yeah, that's the one I want to play. I haven't played Shadow yet.
Shadow is the third one, right? Which one is the third one?
I think Shadow is the third one.
Okay, whatever the third one is, that's the one I'm playing, and I haven't played it in a few months. So, but then I got a lot of gaming in on that Cuphead, man, and I'm enjoying it. It was cool watching my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. They was watching me play it, and they was kind of reminiscent of the cartoons that they had on, back in their day. And they, the animation, they can resonate with it. And they was asking questions about it. And Cat seemed to be really into it. We played a little bit of Smash Bros. Pulled off for the first time in a long time. Pulled out the Joy-Cons and had 4 controllers. That was pretty cool. So, but yeah, we got a little bit of gaming in over the weekend at my wife's family's house up north where my boy K-Bum is. Since he's back, what you been gaming on, K-Bum?
Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Y'all let me know. I done restarted and changed some things up. So let me know if it ain't working. But sound good? All right, cool. So what I've been gaming on, I've given up on Madden. Madden's done. That's dust. So we can call that a day. So I've been playing 2K and that MLB. I've been playing that MLB, that baseball game. That's pretty legit. I've been having a bunch of fun doing that. So also, I'm trying to
okay, you having issues?
clear up my game again.
You hear me?
Yeah. You still
Sound like a
having
robot
issues?
strangling you.
Dang, is
It
that
do.
bad?
It's
I gotta
slowing
find
down.
some.
Like this a first for you. Are you on Chrome or just a regular internet,
No,
man?
no, I'm on.
I had to get you back.
No, I'm on my phone, man. I'm on my phone. That's why I always do the
Oh, you
podcast
on your
my
phone. Okay. Well, it is a
Yeah, I
storm our
always do
way.
it off the
So
phone.
that it's a storm. I'm pretty sure it's stretching up by you too. Is it raining up
Yeah,
that way?
yeah. It was raining a little bit. So let me finish this, and
Hey man, just write down what you want us to say, and we'll read it for us.
Yeah, you popping in and out pretty bad, K-Bum. But you got your laptop? Okay, we lost K-Bum, y'all. Pray for K-Bum in this situation over there. He on arc, and the water coming through. He's pray for him.
He was still doing it.
He getting all the animals, man. He's saying, come. But anyway, there's Dark Sun Rider said, Level, we got to get on this Mario Kart again. Yeah, we got to do that, bro. Is Alex still doing that on Mondays? It's a conflict now there because I take a class on Monday. But if Alex still doing that, let me know. Who else down here? Anyway, so when K-Bum get his situation together, we'll get a chance to hear what he's been gaming on. But we're gonna go back to this topic. So I couldn't find the actual article and send a shout out to is that S Real Entertainment. I couldn't find an actual statement from the president of Nintendo, but basically what he said is there is no plan to show, discuss, or reveal a Switch Mini or any other new entry into the Switch family, modifications, or anything like that. So D2K, you was kind of talking, so go ahead and finish your points.
I did find an actual quote that he made. He said that as a general rule, we're always working on new hardware, and we will announce it when we are able to sell it. But we have no plans to announce that at this year's E3 in June. And now, that's basically all he said.
Now, this is where my title, Many Lies, Rumors, and Misdirection come into play. This is an absolute misdirection. Amen. Oh, you see what I'm saying? This is an absolute misdirection by Nintendo. They ain't saying, you notice they never said we're not working on it. They just said we ain't gonna talk about it at E3. Right. And they said we're gonna talk about it when we can sell it. Of course, we know when that's gonna happen. It's either two spots. It's either with Mario Maker 2, which I don't really think that's the one. I think it's with the Pokemon game. That's when we're gonna hear about that Switch Mini. It's gonna come out with the Pokemon game. Bebo Angel, welcome to the show.
So I will say this in regards to what he said is that you mentioned that this came after they had their official investors meeting, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought this was just a random conversation he was having. I didn't know this was after.
I'm not for sure. I could be wrong on that. I just know that we got numbers today about how many. Well, numbers around the same time that this was said. We got numbers for the this month with the sales and all and how many games are sold and all that. So I figured it was one big setting, but I could be wrong on that, D2K.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is that technically they can tell us one thing and tell their investors a different thing behind closed doors, but stuff has ways of leaking out, and it's a federal offense to actually lie to your investors about what's going on in terms of where your company direction is, because there's hundreds of millions and billions of dollars invested in that. So whatever he said to us, most likely is what he said to them. So if they do have something planned, it's probably not something that's concrete, and it may not. It's as far as the bigger Switch, may not even happen this year. Or it could be something that's so insignificant that there's no reason for them to even mention that at this point. It literally could just be a new SKU that has a couple of buttons missing from the original Switch. And that's the case. If that being the case, like, why even talk about it? You know? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, you know, like you said, it's kind of weird that they would say, well, we're always working on new hardware. Well, that could be anything. You know, because it doesn't even have to be a console, because we know Nintendo's branching off into other things. They don't want to just be a video game company anymore, because it's not really smart to just focus on one thing. And if they're really smart, they will be thinking about having a serious conversation with NVIDIA, if they haven't already, on leveraging their streaming infrastructure going forward and tying it to the Switch. Because you already have the hardware that works with the streaming hardware, because the Tegra X1 is the same technology that's inside the NVIDIA Shield, which does the GeForce Now streaming. So that's something that Nintendo needs to think about, because their streaming network isn't as big as Google or Microsoft or Apple, but they have enough of a footprint to where Nintendo can actually offer streaming through the Switch, if that's the direction they want it to go. And if that's the case, then you don't really need any new hardware, because you'll be using the cloud for computation and stuff. So that could be another thing that Nintendo's thinking about. Is like, why are we messing around with Switch Pros and all this other crap if we can leverage the cloud and get better graphics for people who want it through the cloud? You know?
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, like I said, I have no idea. You know, on this podcast, we really haven't been dealing with the rumor mill around the Mini and the Pro. We kind of talked about it once and kind of left it alone, because that's all you really could do. Everything else is speculation. But with Nintendo themselves coming out and shedding light on the fact that there is no plans at this time for any reveals at E3, to me, that should, and we're going to go here, but I want to get Keith's thought before we transition to the second part of this topic on this topic. What you was playing? Are you done with that?
Man, I died. I'm back focused on the podcast.
Okay. So your thoughts on what's the president's name? How you say his name?
Furukawa.
Say it again, D2.
Furukawa.
I guess it's like
that sounds like a camera manufacturer.
Yeah. But what's your thoughts on the fact that he came out and, you know, announces that they're what I think is an investors meeting? That's what Dark Sun Rider is saying. He thought it was an investors meeting as well. So, what do you think this announcement is hinting at? Like, what do you think? Do you think it's misdirection, or do you just think he just landed out like it is? Go ahead.
It could just be landed out like it is. I'll take that angle and say he just landed out like it is, because didn't the rumors start coming up before he even said anything? Yeah. So he just basically saying, "Yo, get it out your head, get your mind back on the games, enjoy the Switch, and don't worry about what we got going on, if we got something going on."
That's definitely say that.
So just focus on that and don't worry about that. And I do, and I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna let you bring it in, but I do think we get so focused on what's next, and we're not like present and enjoying the Switch, the PlayStation 4s, the Xboxes. Like, we're not enjoying them. We're too busy worried about what's coming next. And we want a cookie. Well, you can go for that.
All right, K-Bomb is back in here. Did you want to finish what you was gaming on, or do you want to just jump into it?
We're going to try this. How do I sound now?
You sound live.
You sound like Vader.
Live.
You say I sound loud?
No, live. You sound like you here.
Okay. I don't want to be a robot no more. I don't want to be a robot. What was that?
I was saying, did you want to go and finish what you was gaming on? Want to jump in the topic we was on?
No, my final thing about what I was gaming on was just saying I tried the online for Nintendo.
Dude, it's just how he set it up. I know what he's doing. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm just making sure you heard me.
couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it, man.
I tried to switch online. I went and played the retro games.
Don't sound so down, okay.
I'm just no.
Ice cream off your cone, man.
I tried them, man. It was nostalgia doesn't work on me. They were fun for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then I was highly bored of those games. Highly bored. I did the first Mario Brothers and Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario Brothers 3 and a couple other games, and I was bored. I'm like, one thing that the pressure sensor on the controller felt off. So when I was trying to jump with Mario, I couldn't get the pressure right.
That's true. It doesn't feel like the original.
Yeah, it felt floaty, so I didn't like that.
You're correct, because it feels the same way. I was going to say I played Punch Out. Played a lot of Punch Out, and you're right. It feels like it's behind, like it's slightly delayed from from the time you push it to you actually see it transition.
Yeah, I've noticed that when even on the virtual console, I've noticed for Punch Out that there's a little bit of lag on playing the game. You know, it's just I mean, maybe I thought it was just because I'm getting old, but
no,
you can feel it.
You feel that.
Yeah. So
all right,
yeah, that's the final. And in the mail, I think right now I got Mario Tennis in the mail right now. So
man, I couldn't let you play that, bro. I don't play that at all.
No, man, GameFly. It's GameFly.
So Mario Tennis, they got
to Level Fly. I mail that to you as they keep Level Fly. Get you that game.
That's funny.
Speaking of Mario Tennis, Nintendo got a free demo going on in the eShop. I saw it earlier. If you want to play it,
Mario Tennis.
It's a 7-day trial, I think. Yeah,
that game ain't selling that too good, I guess. I think it hit 2 million if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, let's get back to this topic because I want to get K-Bum's thoughts. So, well, do you have anything to add to this topic we was having about this mini not the Pro and the Mini not being a thing for E3? What's your thoughts on it?
My thought is, does E3 really matter for Nintendo? I mean, it's not a big deal to reveal stuff at E3 for Nintendo. They have their own way of delivering information, and I thought it was kind of a misdirection because they said E3. They didn't say this year. They didn't say, they were very specific on what they were talking about, which is just E3. And so they have other ways to deliver information. So I don't think it's a big deal at all, to be honest with you.
No, that's why I put misdirection in it, and kind of D2K kind of hit it on the nail because I didn't know this, that they can't literally lie and say something isn't coming when it is, or say they're not doing something at this date and they are. I didn't know they couldn't do that type of kind of say what you said again.
They can't in terms of in the actual investors meeting, they cannot lie in there. So they can't say, if they said that in the investors meeting that behind closed doors they are coming out with something and it leaked out to us somehow after he went out there and said that it isn't, then that's a federal offense. Can't do that.
Okay. And like I said, he's the way he worded it, I don't think he would be in, long as he don't show nothing at E3, his words were not a lie. I just think the misdirection is like what K-Bum said, something is coming out this year. It just ain't gonna be at E3. He said, when we can sell it, you will hear about it. That was the key. That was the key phrase to me. When we can sell it. Mm-hmm. And like I was saying with D2 and Keith, the two places I can see them selling this is either Mario, a Mario Creator,
Mario Maker 2,
Mario Maker 2, or the new Pokemon. And I think the new Pokemon is the game that would make sense for them to release this mini, because you're getting all those 3DS guys and girls and folks that's over there that's been playing and been waiting for a new Pokemon entry, not what we got so far on the Switch. And then they looking for something that's a little less involved as the regular Switch, this will be enticing to them. Something that where the Joy-Cons don't detach. It's a smaller screen. You can probably put it in your pocket. I think that will be very enticing to them for the holiday season. And then you also got Luigi's Mansion coming. You got all these games that audience is going to be aesthetic for. So that's what I think. It's just that it's not coming this E3. So let's continue with this. So the lies and the rumor part. I want to bring light and shed light to why I put it the way I put it. I've been noticing, and I feel like it's time to call out some of these YouTubers, and one in particular. I don't really have a whole lot because I watch a lot of these guys and I skip past them when I see them talking about this because I feel like it's just a clickbait discussion. But one person in particular, I feel like has crossed over the line so egregiously that his name must be brought up and discussed. I ain't trying to trash him. I'm just saying, man, Super Metal Dave has lost all credibility. I don't get it. I don't get I don't get the views he get for the videos he make that say the same stuff, and yet he's wrong time. I don't even think the brother has been right one time. If I'm wrong on that, somebody correct me. Where has this dude been right? On anything with the Switch, when the Switch was first coming out, dude was saying it was going to be an AMD. He said it's going to be more powerful than this, more powerful than that. It's definitely a lot of hybrid. It's a home console for under your TV. All this, he swore by it. The whole nine, the Switch come out is nothing like what he said. And his views went up. Then he constantly talking about this new entry, this Pro.
No. Back it up. You leaving out a whole lot of stuff.
Go ahead. I'll bring it in, man. We try not to talk about people on this podcast, but I feel like this is fair game. I don't understand the love affair with this guy. I hadn't watched one of his videos in a long time, D2, and I said, okay, I'll check it out just to see what he talking. Because he got so many, I was like, let me check it out. And when I got done, I was like, there was nothing but speculation and a whole bunch of charts and a whole bunch of this and I'm like, brother, Nintendo ain't finna make that. But go ahead, man. Go ahead, D2.
But you had the whole situation where he said that Sony was going to release a portable console that was going to be more powerful than the Switch. It was going to be PS4 power level. It's going to be a Switch-like device. And then he had everybody sitting up waiting, watching the Tokyo Game Show, expecting something to happen. And it didn't. And then he said, oh, well, they changed. The brand changed. It's going to be coming out later on that year at the PlayStation Experience. And then that came and went. Nothing happened still. And he just kind of went under for a while. It was kind of quiet. And then when the rumors started coming out about this Switch Pro, which actually started last year, he started on that whole tangent. So that leads us up into today, and that's why I call him Super Metal Dave Meltzer, because he reminds me of if him and Dave Meltzer, who those of you who are wrestling fans know who he is. He's exactly the same way. He basically fancies himself to be an insider, fancies himself to be a journalist, and he has no credibility whatsoever. And whenever things don't happen, he says, "Well, plans changed." Anybody can do that,
right.
You know. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have any ill will towards the guy. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but I think that what he's doing, like I said before, this is a gimmick. This is his shtick. This is how he gets clicks. He's smart enough to know that when he says something, regardless if it's right or wrong, I mean, he's kind of in a win-win situation, because you said that after all that stuff happened, his clicks went up. So even if he's wrong about something, people love to come to his channel to tell him that. And all those people who are trolling him are making him more money. And if he just happens to be right, now he got all the people who can say, "Oh, I told you so," and now everybody will be coming to his channel because they think that he's some kind of a genie or something. So he's playing the system right. I can't get mad at him for that.
Welcome to the show, Scarf Tail. I think I said that right. I like what he said. I said, I thought I still respected him, but then I learned that he seemingly deliberately ignores any comment, even if polite, that counters his claims. I don't know. All I know is this. My thing is, how many times can you be wrong before you lose credibility? Now, because it's not like he's saying, this is what I hope, this is what I wish, I would desire for it to have this. That's a whole different thing. He's saying this is what it's going to be. It's going to be this. This is going to happen. I guarantee it. You can book it. And every time he has been wrong. That like, and when I was listening to him, I'm like, dude, how many times can you do this before? And this is when I started looking at it like, what is going on here? What am I missing? When I saw Rich of Review Tech and RG385 and all these other folks giving this, they clamoring around them. I'm like, but now they all dissing themselves now because he was wrong.
Yeah, some of them have backed off. I mean, Rich from Review Tech is still hanging around, but he, like, what's his name? Spawn Wave kind of backed away a little bit. Francis kind of backed away a little bit. So some of them are still hanging on though.
Yeah, but my thing is like these cats jump on the bandwagon, and it's like, and that's one thing I'm like, I ain't trying to. I don't be involved enough to do that. But my thing is, it's only so many times you can be wrong. It's only so many times that you can put information out there, and it totally falls flat. You got to at some point lose credibility. That's my thing. And I was like, look, man, after he came out and said E3 is not the day, I said, okay, this is it. It's time to go. No more video. You have no right to make a video that does not say this is what I hope and this is what I want. Okay, you can make that video. If you say this is what's going to happen, if your name got SMD on it, no credibility should be given to you. It should be move on, nothing here to see. That's how I feel about it. But I'm not, man. We've been watching this dude for a while, man. I'm like, bro, you ain't never been right. Not even close to right. So I ain't trying to throw the dude under no bridge, under no bus. I'm just saying, what is it about this community that they seem to gravitate to people who ain't giving them nothing but fluff?
Well, unfortunately, that's a product of society in general. It's not really it's not just him. I mean, that's how we are as a people. That we don't want substance. We want to have people. It's just like the Bible said. In times of people will heap up in them. Yeah,
you're right.
Teachers and some of the itchy ears want to hear. So that's pretty much what is going on right now. It's it's like in sports. You see something going on, and like for instance, like I live in Wisconsin, so I'm happy that my home team is doing well in the NBA playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks. But you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, Giannis is cool, he's great, everything like that." But you hear people like Stephen A. Smith, who does everything he can to dismiss Giannis, dismiss the Bucks. Oh, he's not so good. Oh, they're not that good. Oh, they can't get out of the first round. They swept the Pistons by an average of 20 points per game. Now he's saying, oh, well, that was just the first round bye. I don't even count that. They're still going to lose to the Celtics. It's that kind of mentality of people where they just say, I don't care what the facts are. I'm going to believe this. So people like that, you just kind of just shove them over the corner and say, I'm not going to deal with you. And that's what's going on in gaming. Is like, if I don't want to believe something, if I want to believe that there's a Switch Pro coming out and it's going to be twice the power of the PlayStation 4 and it's going to cost less than $300, I'm going to believe that, even if it makes not a lick of good sense.
And that's what it was. That was what, and I know D2, I mean, K-Bum and Keith quiet. And we ain't gonna stay on this much longer. But
no, I'm letting you guys get it out, you know, because I've heard the dude, but I haven't really followed him as much as you guys have.
I don't follow him. I would be honest, let me be transparent. When the NX was a thing, I was listening to him because I wanted that. All right, I didn't want. I'll be honest. Let's be real here. I'm glad that they did what they did. It panned out to be a better idea than what I thought they should do. So I humbly submit that I was wrong. But I wanted the more powerful. I wanted them to do something that was not so different. That hoping that this would be the right move, but apparently that wasn't right. What Nintendo did with the Switch was right. It was correct. They did, and it's caught on like wildfire. Me, Keith, everyone who was thinking it wasn't going to be that came out and said, hey, we were wrong. This dude, this dude got angry. So then he started the other rumor that D2K talked about the PlayStation. That fell flat. Then he started something else that fell flat. Now he on this like, bruh, you ain't got it, man. Yo insides, what you say, Keith? Frozen, I gotta get that. Your inside connects clearly is giving you bad information, man. Like,
he actually sat there and had a face to, well, I don't know if it's a face to face, but he had like a interview with what was her name? Emily something.
Roger.
Emily Rogers. Now she's been an insider. She's been insider for almost 2 decades now. And he told her flat out that this was not going to be what the Eurogamer report said it was going to be. And so he was brazen enough to do that. And even after such a spectacular failure, he keeps on going. And like I said, we gotta give him credit for hanging in there and just sticking to his guns, even though they're wrong. I mean, that takes some serious dedication, because I couldn't do it.
I have a question, because I don't go to his channel. I try to stay away from channels such as his. I'm not interested in trying to be in the future and all the other stuff, trying to figure out what stuff is going on, because nobody knows. So outside of that type of content, what else is on this channel? Does anybody know?
Nothing.
Oh, so wow.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It's not like he has that video and then he goes back to talking about other games. I mean, every once in a while you see him talk about something, but the vast majority is back to back to back to back. If I go to his channel right now, I guarantee you that at least 5 videos in a row are about the Switch Pro.
Wow.
And it ain't never right, bro. Like, look. D2K kind of hit it.
Okay, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 videos in a row, all about the Switch Pro.
So can we, now that Nintendo has said that is not, can we at least, at the very least, wait until they say something? And I'm not saying, no. Let me take that back. Don't do it. Don't wait. But can we stop putting these emphatic, this is what it is? Like, bruh, like, come on, man. You can't believe what you just put up there. You can't believe they finna put all that in this small form factor in some kind of way, give it to you for less than $1,000. Like, come on, man. I ain't even in a computer. I'm not even savvy with this stuff like that. And I can look and say, bro, that ain't what did we say about the PlayStation 5 specs?
They look great, but that's gonna be expensive.
Thank you. I ain't no computer tech head to look at this and say, bro, that's solid state. I know enough about that to know, dude, that's $300 by itself. And we ain't even getting into the GPU and the CPU, and we ain't here to talk about specs. So when I go to, I don't go, but the time I went, I'm like, bruh, stop, man. You was wrong. You've been wrong. You steady staying wrong. You keep turning left, man. Just turn right one time, man. One time, make it right. You might get to your destination.
That tire flat. You can't turn right.
But anyway, not to belabor that. That's why I'm saying, man, this mini stuff and the pro stuff, Nintendo said they'd talk about it when they can sell it. That means the game that's going to sell it is what you need to be focusing on.
Not the hardware.
Not the hardware. It's the game. And that game most likely is Pokemon. So that means the mini is coming out later this year. You got to read between the lines. The pro might not be seen until we see something that needs pro-like improvements. And I think it was the Washington Post. I don't think they were lying. I think there is, and Nintendo didn't deny it, but I doubt it's anything like what this dude and many others who run to his channel and let him shower them with fairy tale stories of what a make-believe systems that will never come to fruition. I don't get it. So anyway, everybody want to know who we talking about. So we got to talk about people to get folks. Anyway, what's up, bro? This is Alex Prime in the house. And we got Rude Boy in the house. We talking about Super Metal Dave. I said I'm gonna say his name. I'm not. We just wish the dude would stop with the videos and just hang it up for a while. You've been wrong too many times to keep going like this, man. It's just let it go for a season. Come back in the fall. Winter is here. Come back in the fall. Anyway, so let's get it on to this next topic. So, Mortal Kombat 11.
Mortal Kombat.
All right, K-Bum, he ready. Look at it. Now, Alex, I blame this on you. Alex Prim, I blame this on you if you listening. You put up a picture of Mortal Kombat beside on the Switch beside the PC version, and you said the PC version is scaled back to the lower settings, I guess. And the Switch version still was not even.
Yo, thanks, Alex, bro. Appreciate it.
I was just doing the most, but shut up, man. So, of course, K-Bum being the Sony loving hip hop gamer.
See, why we gotta do all this?
I'm playing.
What is all this?
Anyway, K-Bum took the picture and shared it with us. I seen it on Twitter. I seen it when you commented on it. But K-Bum put the picture up in our hangout, and it sparked an interesting question, interesting topic that I thought, hey, let's talk about this on the chat. So we had other topics that we're gonna kind of go away from because we know this is gonna take us out, and I think y'all gonna enjoy this. So first of all, the Switch version, when you slow it down and freeze it and analyze, it does not look good at all. Let's just be real here. It doesn't. But
I don't think we need to do all that, but okay.
The Switch version got fur.
He said it got fur.
Now,
fuzzy. It's fuzzy.
Now, to me, I said in motion, I feel like it's all right. It definitely ain't up there with the PlayStation 4, Xbox, PC, but it's okay. And that sparked a thought about how third party is doing on the Switch as far as sales and things like that. And I guess the question was, whose fault is it? And that's kind of where we came to. That's kind of where we ended on the in the Google Hangout. Whose fault is it? Is it, and this is a question I ask, is it Nintendo and the fan base, or is it the fact that third party ignored Nintendo and this fan base for 3 decades? So I will let D2, I think D2 can be better able to set this up because me and him was having more of the conversation.
Three decades.
Yeah, they did. You had the Super NES. They added the Super NES, the N64. They kind of ignored the GameCube. They ignored the Wii. They gave games that were not the same as the games on the other platforms, like with Madden. You got kiddie version of Madden on the Wii versus the real version of Madden on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Stuff like that. When you see what's that scary Dead Space, when they brought it to the Wii, it was a
On rails.
on rail shooter versus what the that kind of stuff. So the question is, with the reason, because I feel like with Mortal Kombat 11, this is the first day and date game that we can honestly judge the sales on the Switch or Nintendo with the other and get a real for real fair judgment on. If this game does not sell, then we can say that Nintendo and the fan base are hypocritical when it comes to third-party titles. I feel like this is the first game we can actually make that argument. And they say they don't agree with that. So I'm going to let D2K kind of set that up because me and him was the one kind of looking at it from different angles. Go ahead, D2.
Well, I kind of have to start from the beginning with this because there's a lot to unpack before I can make my actual point. Going back to that actual 8-bit and 16-bit era, and I said this on the show before, that there were 3 companies that did consistently well on the SNES and the NES. That was Ubisoft, Capcom, and Square. Back then, they were not Square Enix, they were just Squaresoft. And Enix was a separate company, and they also did well. But since Square Enix became one, I just put them in the same category to say Square. You had other companies that did well here and there, but nobody was consistently good all the way from them then until now, except, those 3 companies. And Capcom, I forgot about Capcom. Yeah, Capcom was in there too. So it's kind of a misnomer that third parties did great on the NES and SNES. I mean, we had so many fond memories of great third-party games on those consoles, but if you actually look at the numbers and compare them to the numbers that these same companies and others were getting on the PlayStation and Xbox consoles post 3264-bit, they're not even close. I mean, they're not even close. Even the OG Xbox, which only sold 24 million copies, they sold a lot of copies of software on their console. So third parties games on Nintendo consoles in general have never been very lucrative. It's always been Sony and Microsoft. Even back in the 16-bit era, there were a lot of games that Sega was getting more shine for than the SNES, especially EA. It's sports games and things like that nature. I mean, that's where Madden really cut his teeth, was on the Genesis. So, and then later on you had, NBA Live and stuff like that. But fast forward to the future, you get to the Wii. Quiet as it's kept, the Wii got a lot of third-party support. It's just that the third-party support was drowned out because Ubisoft did so well on the Wii. I mean, you look at the top 10 best-selling games on the Wii, Ubisoft is in there a couple of times. The top 20, they're in there a couple of times. They understood the audience that the Wii had, and they made games to that audience. The other companies were saying, we're going to bring our games to the Wii because there's a lot of people playing this console, so we want to get in on the act. But when we made these games, we didn't have the Wii in mind. So what did we do? I mean, you basically are lucky you got anything at all. If I'm looking at these HD consoles and I'm making my game from scratch with those in mind, and then nobody expected the Wii to be as successful as it was. So when that happened, it's like, oh, well, we got to get our game on the Wii. So what do we do? Well, you're going to have to make a version that actually will fit on the Wii. And that's the reason why a lot of the third-party games you got on the Wii had cartoon characters and all kinds of stuff like that, because they really had to build something right away just to get something on there. So, I don't really throw shade at third parties for their games not looking the same, because it wasn't their fault. Nintendo said, we're giving you a a GameCube that's overclocked. Here you go. That's not helping us much. But when you look at today, look at all the games, third-party games that are on the Switch. There are a lot of them. I look at the sales, and the sales are not matching the rhetoric that I hear from Nintendo fans. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of Nintendo fans actually think like I do, because they're not going to the store to buy an inferior version of a game that came out several months ago that cost the same as it did then now. It doesn't make any sense. It'd be different if this game was half as much or half the price, but they're releasing the game for the same amount of money, and it's not even as good as the other version that came out 5 or 6 months ago. So why would they buy the game? But these same people will go to this page or any other Nintendo page, or whenever you see, like on Nintendo's page, when they release a trailer for a new game. Oh, I don't know what's going on in the background there.
K-Bun, you watching something, bro? K-Bun.
No, I'm not watching anything.
Okay.
Nah,
So I don't know what that was.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
These same people, are saying, oh, look at how great this game looks on the Switch. Look at how great the graphics are, despite the Switch being not so powerful. And this is the best version because you can play this game on the go. You can't do that on the PlayStation 4. You can't do that on the PC. You can't do that on the Xbox One. That's why the Switch version is the best. And I don't own the game. I don't get it. I really don't. If this game is so great, why don't you have it? There's nothing stopping you from going to the store and buying it. You said it was great. You said it was the best version. Why don't you own that version?
He clapped his hands though.
Miss me with that. I'm not talking about the people who are level-headed, no pun intended, who have their own PlayStation, they own an Xbox, they own a gaming PC, but the Nintendo Switch is their go-to system. That's the main event. That's the primary gaming console in their home. They're Nintendo fans. They love Nintendo. Yeah, but I still like Microsoft and Sony and all that stuff. So, I'm going to get the Switch version just to represent, but I'm not going to be stupid enough to believe that this is the better version just because I love Nintendo. Those people I'm cool with. The people I have a problem with are people saying, for the sake of saying it, because they just want to be in the conversation. They want bragging rights. They don't even care about the game. They never had any intention of playing the game. They just want to say, look at us. We're not the laughing stock anymore because we got Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch.
Yeah. I think basically what D2K said, just to sum it all the way up, it's just the narrative that Nintendo created for themselves, and it's their fault. Why games even now aren't performing or looking as great as they can, because Nintendo is constantly trying to be unique. Is Levelhead locked on my screen? Okay, never mind. Nintendo is constantly trying to be so unique that they end up alienating developers. You can go back, as he said, and we can start at the N64, and then you go to the GameCube. GameCube was arguably one of the more powerful consoles that generation, but they alienated the developers by giving them a small disc format. So, which means that they had to. I don't know if anybody back then owned the GameCube, but a lot of those games came on 2 discs that shouldn't have.
Yeah, like Resident Evil and stuff like that.
Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid, Twin Snakes. Those games came on double disc, and developers had to find workarounds to get around these limitations. The Nintendo 64 clearly more powerful than the PlayStation, but the cartridges were the limitations. They couldn't put enough. They didn't have enough memory. They couldn't put all the stuff that they want to put into the games because the cartridges were expensive.
And that was the linchpin that started the whole exodus away from Nintendo by third parties, because Square Enix was going to put Resident or not, they were going to put Final Fantasy VII on the N64, and because they couldn't, they said we're going to take our talents to Sony, and everybody else followed suit.
Right, and that part, Sony, and then you look at what Sony's been doing each generation outside of the PS3. They've been selling well over 100 some consoles a generation. So it's like, man, we're gonna make our money over here. Screw Nintendo, and Nintendo constantly saying, "Dang, what do we do? What do we do? Let's do something unique." And therefore, when the games come out day and date, or similar games come out, the Nintendo version is always subpar or looked at as subpar. So when people talked about it, like the IGNs, the GameSpots talked about it, it seemed like it was hatred being shown to Nintendo, but really it was Nintendo putting their foot in their own mouth. But at the same time, you have to ask the question: if Nintendo did come out with a console equally on scale, would it still do the same? Because the narrative is, I don't want to play this on a Nintendo console. That's what it looks like. I don't want to play this on a Nintendo console.
Well, I think that at first it probably wouldn't change because, like you said, the narrative is there. As Nintendo doesn't do. Back in the day, Nintendo was cutting edge. You look for Nintendo to have the best looking game, best version of every game. Now it's the opposite of that. You expect them not to have the best version of the game. So even if Nintendo came out and announced that, somewhere this year that they're coming out with a console that's going to be more powerful than the Anaconda, people will be excited, but I don't know. I'm not sure if the Nintendo fan base would really embrace that, because you've programmed them for almost 2 decades now that this is not necessary.
Right.
All right, K-Bum, I want you to come in, but I think I come out and jump back in, man. I don't know what's going on, but I can't unmute you from my end. So if you can unmute yourself, I don't know what's going on. It's not letting me do it. So drop out and come back in. That should work. If you can hear me.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah. No, I was saying to D2K that he was spot on with that piece about being of the Nintendo gamers actually being told this and kind of formed in their mind that that power is not the thing. Because I remember it, and I believe even you guys would admit that that Resident Evil 4, that the best version was on the GameCube.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right, but it was some time after that where Nintendo themselves formulated and formed in their supporters' mind that you don't need power, and even if they come out with something like that, I don't see it being adapted, because you have people even arguing, as I was on Alex Prime's Twitter feed, that the blurry version was still looking better to them.
That happened.
Yeah, that happened.
The furry edition.
The furry edition. And so you have this condition in the mind. And so my thing is, so the point is, when it comes to Nintendo, it comes to third party and comes to these games, I believe when someone has to come to the decision, right, especially someone who owns 2 consoles, of which version they should own. And if they have an Xbox and they had a Switch or a PS4 and a Switch, and they come out with a game that has to look inferior because it needs to run, as the case in Mortal Kombat, 60 frames per second, it has to look inferior if it expects to meet the criteria of what's needed for a fighting game. And the fact that even though it comes out day to day, it's not going to compare with those two. And by far, it doesn't. It's kind of, Nintendo's their fault for putting developers in their position that they have to do so much and take so much out in order to meet this certain criteria. But then you have the same people who, will claim about how, like D2K point, that the other version, Switch version, is better, but still won't go out and buy it. Right. So I found this interesting fact. So I was looking at when you were having this conversation, and I was looking. Thank you, Alex. Yes, that did happen. And so I was I was looking at this interesting fact. Level talked about a certain game, in the chat.
Hold up. Oh, let me
That's scared. That's not me. Level talked about a certain game, right? That game was Starlink. And I was blown away about what I found when I looked at the sale data. On both the Xbox and the PlayStation, that game sold 100,000.
Whoa.
Yeah,
try that again. No. There was some static when you said that.
So I looked at VG charts. If you want to believe it or not, I know that people don't always believe VG charts. That's fine. But when I looked at it, the PlayStation version and the Xbox version both sold 100,000 copies of Starlink.
Wow.
And then I go and look at the Switch version. 500,000. 5 times as much. So did Starlink sell better on the Switch because the Switch had a better version of it? Did it sell better because that's the best way to play Starlink is on the Switch? Or did it sell better because they were given a first-party Nintendo character?
Now,
or is this because Starlink is the Star Fox game that we've wanted for 20 years?
Exactly. And so my piece that I was kind of drawn from this, and I was trying to be, pun intended, level-headed about this.
Everybody using my name for puns.
It was hard, and I'm trying to debate: is it that PlayStation owners didn't see that this game was as good as Nintendo owners saw it, and it's hard for me to take away from the fact that Star Fox was touted in this game, and I know I've read tweets about people only buying this game because of Star Fox being in it, and that continues that mindset that Nintendo owners support without blinking.
Can I jump in here, please?
After I can finish my point, let me get to the
conclusion. Okay, all right.
My conclusion.
Oh man,
I was trying to find a way to rationalize it, but it was very, very, very hard, knowing that this game the little carrot was dangled with being able to use Star Fox in it, and the fact that it had a Nebo type device with it as well. And I'm just, I don't know, I'm trying to find out the data and how to make the math work, and that's the conclusion I keep drawing. So love it.
All right. Now my thing is this. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct that most likely Star Fox, it ain't no most likely. Star Fox helped the Wii U version sell. That's not an argument that I was making against. The Switch version sell.
We don't say those words.
We don't say Wii U no more. Switch version sell. But this is my thing. We've seen this before, and we never made an issue with it when it happened on other platforms with other games. Let's look at Rise of the Tomb Raider. I would love for you to look up how many is sold on the Xbox versus the PlayStation, because it had that exclusivity for almost a year before it came out on the PlayStation. I wonder how many. I wonder what the sales were for the PlayStation version versus the Xbox One version.
Which version?
I wonder what the sales were compared to the Xbox One version with the PlayStation 4 version.
You said Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Rise of the Tomb Raider. The reason
Shadow or Rise?
Rise.
Huh? Rise, not Shadow. Shadow came out the same time. Rise had like a year head start.
Okay.
I'm just curious. I could be setting myself up for failure here, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and think that the Xbox had more sales, but I could be wrong.
I really appreciate your faith. I can't wait for you.
I want to see. I just want to see. I might be wrong live on the live level.
Well, you can start your conclusion. What is
but
your
my
conclusion?
point is this.
Thank you.
We've seen games that has exclusive content that help that particular game on that particular platform sell. We've seen this before. We never said, oh, that's the only reason it sold more. We just said it sold more. So even though the Star Fox stuff was in the Switch version, it didn't make the other versions less Starlink than it was before. It just didn't have Star Fox character. So if folks wanted the game,
I will quote Alice Prime. Wasn't nobody thinking about no Starlink until Star Fox walked out there. And I have some bad news for you.
I was wrong on that.
Yes. The Xbox One version sold 1 million copies. The PlayStation 4 version sold 2.7 million copies.
Okay. And that's Rise.
Yes.
Yes, that is Rise. I'm seeing the same numbers on VG.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm wrong on that. But my point is this. I'm wrong. I can see. Hey, I don't have no problem with saying I'm wrong.
So to your point, the reason why it looks bad, Level, and I'll let you finish. The reason why it looks bad is that the problem is what it looks like on the Nintendo side is that it continues this rhetoric that people believe about Nintendo. And it wasn't just about the exclusivity. It wasn't just about being exclusive. It wasn't just about that. It was the fact that why it was exclusive, what was actually exclusive, and the fact that it looks as if it continues because Mario and Rabbids sold well too.
Well, of course, when you put Mario in our first party IP in there, it's gonna help.
And that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. It's sold 5 times as much.
But this is my thing. Let me make my point. You fall back. Let me get mad.
I'm falling back. I'm laying down.
This is my point.
Back. I'm laying down.
I find it interesting that folks act that like I've been a Nintendo fan. K-Bum, you know, I was there during the years of the N64, the GameCube, into the Wii U, now the Switch. I was there for all that. I remember what it felt like to be a primary Nintendo gamer. When you would see a game like Street Fighters wouldn't come to the Nintendo 64 for whatever reason, or the GameCube for whatever reason. And the company will make all type of excuses of why they couldn't bring this game over. Well, and then you will hear this all in the communities. Well, if the system ain't selling enough, there's really not any attraction or any reason for them to make that and waste that money putting it there when the system ain't moving. The N64 sold this many, and it had cartridges, and then the GameCube was just, they had many cartridges and it didn't sell enough. So I'm like, okay, if the argument is power, the power is there. The GameCube is the most powerful amongst the three, or at least on par with the Xbox One, and yet and still, and it sold just as good as the Xbox OG, but yet and still, when it came to third party, they chose to go with the Xbox and the PlayStation over the GameCube, even though the power was more powerful than the PlayStation and equal, if not better, than the Xbox.
I think this is a straw man argument because we're not talking about the N64 and the GameCube. We're talking about the Wii U, and the Switch.
I'm making a point. No, that's not. That's what y'all talking about. But I make my point. No, wait a minute. Hold up.
There's no conflict there. If you're talking about that stuff, we're not disagreeing with that.
No, at all. I'm trying to set a precedence for why I'm saying what I'm saying now, with why games don't sell like y'all think they should now. I'm trying to set precedent. I said all this in the chat. I'm bringing what I said out to the folks who's listening. We went back to the NES and the Super NES too. You went there as well. I'm just making my point. I said this has been you. I said, whose fault is it? Is it third party for neglecting Nintendo gamers and the Nintendo fan base for 3 decades? Hold up, my baby's yelling at me.
It's Nintendo fault.
Yeah.
My babies are going over grandmas. They just want me to know they going over grandmas. Okay, boo-boo. All right. So you have a conditioned fan base who feel like and was treated, let's just be real, like outsiders. Like they weren't real gamers. Like they didn't matter. It was only about Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. That's what mattered. So Now then it was about, well, it was sales. Power was, then the Wii come out. The Wii is the most phenomenal selling system we've seen since the PlayStation 4 and the Switch are starting to show. But that was the selling, and it was everywhere. What did third party do? They gave you gimped or totally changed games. They never was equal to the counterpart. I ain't talking about what they're doing on the Switch, where the game is, it's still a quality game. It's just the visual ain't as quite as good as the other version, but you getting the real experience from the game. You getting Doom, you getting Wolfenstein, you getting MK11, you getting whatever other game you want to name, NBA 2K 18, 19. You getting the game. So I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about then. So, and then they say, well, it doesn't sell. Well, that's not what we asked for. We asked for that, what y'all gave that group. So now that the Switch is here, now that it's selling, now that it's making money, now that it's viable, now that it's interesting, now you want to jump on, and because cats ain't buying your game, is Nintendo fans are hypocrites. I don't agree with that.
That's not.
I don't agree with that at all.
That's not the point at all. I mean, that's completely different than the point I was making, because my point is from people saying that this game is superior to the competition.
I ain't heard that. I told you I didn't hear that.
I hear it. I read it all the time. It is not hard to find it at all. It really isn't. Are we talking about a vocal minority, or are we talking about majority people? We're talking. Well, no. Well, first of all, I mean, you never know who's saying what behind closed doors. Right. All we can do is look at like I said, the numbers don't lie. But that okay. I mean, and going back to what you were saying about the Wii, like I already explained that when Microsoft, when these third parties started making their games for, what was it, the 7th gen? The 7th gen. When they started making their games for the 7th gen, they weren't thinking about making games for an overclocked GameCube. I get that. They were thinking about the cell processor. They were thinking about tri-core power PC. That's what they're making games for. So when they saw, and nobody knew that the Switch, well, yeah, the Switch too, but nobody knew that the Wii was going to sell as much as it did. Everybody thought that the Wii they didn't think it was going to flop, because once people actually saw what the Wii was, they said, oh, okay, looks kind of cool. I might have to check that out. But nobody knew it was going to become a phenomenon and sell 100 million copies. Nobody knew that. Well, let me ask this, but once it became a reality, the third parties that had no intentions of bringing their games to that console, because they knew how powerful or powerless it was, had to do an about face and make up something on the fly. Now, I'll ask you a question. Would you rather have nothing, or rather have them realize that there's something there and try to give you something to the best of their ability, when Nintendo did not give them the tools that they needed to give you what was Microsoft and Sony were getting?
This is what I'm going to go back to what I was saying before, and I'm going to answer your question. I feel like this. At that time, on the Wii, while you might not have been able to give what the Xbox and the PlayStation version was, you still could have gave a better effort with the sales and what the Wii was doing. You could have did a better effort than when you chose to do. That's my point. People know when you giving them trash, man. People know when you giving them leftover booty food for and like here little dog over here. We ain't stunting y'all, but here this. Nobody's gonna buy that. Now, what's going on with the Switch is this. This is the same. It's not the same, but it's the same. You see that the Switch, just like the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 3 hurt Sony, right? The PlayStation 3, it hurt Sony. It hurt Sony.
The launch price hurt Sony.
All right. Did it stop? Did it stop third party?
Third party started to leave Sony at that point in time.
That's okay, then why was they so?
That's where when you got GTA left Sony and went multiplayer. A lot of games that was just only on
they went
Sony.
multiplayer, but they didn't leave
left
Sony.
They left their home, which was Sony PlayStation, and they started to branch off and go multiplayer. That hurts as well because you had the game exclusively Metal Gear Solid, GTA, and was Devil May Cry one of them? But that's huge though. You can't just watch past that.
And that is very similar to what happened with Nintendo with the N64 and Final Fantasy VII.
But this is my point. Even with that, they didn't totally abandon Sony. They didn't up and jump off the ship and didn't make another game for them or give Sony GIMP versions compared to the Xbox. Bayonetta is the only one.
No, brother. You need to calm down with that. Hold on, time out. Because you're talking to a Sony fan here. And I will tell you, there were plenty, the sports games, all the sports games were the GIMP version on the PlayStation. They were coded for Xbox first.
Yeah,
they were worse on the PS3.
Right, because of the cell processor, not because they was wanting to GIMP.
Let me finish. Let me
get my point.
The orange box. No, because you made a point. We have to talk about this. I get back. The orange box. It was thrown because they didn't even finish. They thrown to a third-party person to finish the PlayStation 3 version of it, and it was the buggiest, worst piece of crap. It was terrible. The orange box. It was because they did not care about the PS3. It's because they did not care about the PS3.
It wasn't also because of the difficult nature.
They did not put in the effort. They threw it to the side. They didn't care about the sales. It wasn't selling that well anyway. So let's give them something.
I'm saying, wasn't it because of the nature of the sale process?
It wasn't just the sale process. PlayStation 3 wasn't because think of this. Even if it's difficult, and if you realize you can make money off of it, you're gonna put in what you need to put in to make the money off of it.
Okay,
which is why the Switch got games from not the Switch. That's a Switch. I keep saying the Switch and Wii, but they both have very similar situations. But that's the reason why the Wii got games from Ubisoft, from Capcom, from Konami, from Warner Brothers, from Midway, from EA, from Activision, from Bandai Namco, from Tecmo Koei, from so many different companies in the games, and to sit, to say that these games were gimped and they got tables.
Y'all. Okay,
you did say the games were gimped,
but keep me in context. Let's go to Ubisoft. Why did Ubisoft find so much success on the Wii?
Because they made original
with Just Dance.
Thank you, Keith. They actually gave games that seemed like they cared about what they were putting on the system.
With Just Dance? That's what they made their money at.
Red Dead, not Red Dead, but Red Steel.
Just Dance.
They had Red Steel 2. They had some other stuff. I can't remember all the games.
Those games actually, but the thing is, those games didn't do that well.
They didn't sell that well. They made. No,
they didn't. I mean, the top, like I said, the top 20 games for the Wii, all three of those games were Just Dance, and the only other game that was in there in the top 20 that was not a Nintendo game was Lego Star Wars, which is LucasArts.
I'm not expecting. First of all, let's context. I'm not expecting these games to outsell first-party Nintendo games. That's not my point. What I'm saying is they sold well enough that Ubisoft felt it worth making another one. That's what I'm saying.
But my point is that you keep forgetting about what I started off. My point is that Ubisoft is one of the 3 or 4 companies that has always done well on Nintendo consoles.
And I'm asking you why, though. That's my point. They ain't just doing well because they're doing well. There's a reason.
The reason is because they make games that fit Nintendo's fan base. But
could it be that they also make games that actually seem like they have heart behind what they're making?
I mean, that's your opinion. I mean, I could say that this game didn't have any. I could look at any game and say, well, they didn't have their heart behind that. I don't know those people who made that game. I don't know the people that developed that.
P2K, you can look at a game and tell if the people that develop it put passion in it or not. You can look at a game and tell.
I can look. Well, I'll give an example. Ghostbusters on the Wii. Ghostbusters on the Wii looked like it had cartoon versions of all the characters, but that game was just as good as the Xbox and PlayStation 3 versions.
I wouldn't argue. I never played the Ghostbuster game.
I did. I played the NBA games, NBA 2K games on the Wii. I played the WWE games on the Wii. I played, it was that All Stars, WWE All Stars. I'm not sure if that was on the Wii or not, but no, it was the SmackDown games on the Wii. I played a lot of games that were better on the PlayStation and the Xbox versions, but they looked a lot worse because they didn't have the hardware to give you the same sprites that you got on the other consoles. Yes, there's always going to be trash games. The Xbox One got trash games. PlayStation 4 got trash games. The PlayStation 5 is going to have trash games. The Anaconda is going to have them. The Stadia is going to have them. The Switch has them. You're going to have companies out there that don't give their best foot forward, but you cannot look at those companies that don't do it right and say, well, all the companies that didn't bring their games to the Wii U or something.
What I said.
Okay, what did you say? Because I'm getting confused here.
Because y'all keep, every time I say something, y'all interrupt me, keep on coming. I said on the Wii, you have very few third-party companies making a real effort on that system. That's why first party dominated, and you had the games that were coming to at that time, the eShop. I don't know what they called it. I can't remember what it was. WiiWare. That's where the games were selling. Third-party companies were not, outside of Ubisoft and a few others. Most of these third-party, like EA, everything EA put on there was either a total different, fast-paced, quick grab version, shovelware, shelf life stuff that wasn't. It was just cash grab because it was selling so crazy, but you wasn't really putting no real effort behind the game that you put on there.
Just like Nintendo didn't put any effort into the hardware that they made.
Okay, that's fine. That's how you want to take it. But then you say that. Then we say the same thing about the Switch.
Well, the power discrepancy. That's the thing, is that the power discrepancy between the Switch and the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 is nowhere near as vast as the Wii and the PlayStation 3 and Xbox One.
You are the very one who said, when I was talking about how good Doom looked, you said they can make any game look as wherever they want to look on any system if they want to.
No, I said they can. No, I didn't say that. I said they can get any game to run on any console, which leads us back to Mortal Kombat 11. It certainly does run.
Right.
It's doing that.
My point is, if that's true for the Switch, it was true for the Wii.
The games
ran. Didn't do that.
The games ran. It was
if you're not making the same game, what does it matter if it run if it's not the same game?
Well, like I said before, would you rather have something or nothing? You never did answer that question.
I'm answering the question. They chose to go with what Nintendo was making.
No. I know how your feelings about that, but I'm answering the question. Would you, leveled head, rather have something or nothing?
I'm answering the question by what I'm saying. Clearly, if the games was there and people didn't buy them, they didn't want them.
I didn't say other people. I said you. I'm talking to you.
Myself. I didn't buy those games. I had an Xbox. I had a PlayStation to buy those games on. If you were not going to give it to me on the Wii, on the Wii U,
and so you're basically saying that Nintendo giving us the GameCube 2.0 is a third party's fault.
No, what I'm saying is, if you see them doing it on the Wii, on the Switch, and it's still a lesser version. And going by what you said earlier, a developer can get a game to run on any platform they want. Right. Then you could have got the game to run on the Wii U. You could have got it to run on the Wii. You chose not. You chose to give a total different.
What game didn't run?
What you mean?
What game didn't run? You keep saying that they couldn't get the game to run.
I said that was the excuse back then. Everybody saying they couldn't get the game to run on the Switch. It wasn't powerful enough. That was the excuse. That was the excuse on the Wii, the Wii U, and up to that point. Now the Switch, which is still a lesser version, all of a sudden they can get it to run. And you said, well, level, you got to understand they could have been doing this. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that.
Well, see, that's one of the things that I never subscribe to when people say they can't get it to run. And I've explained to you why They said that in detail. The reason why they say that they can't get the game to run is because they don't want to cause. Let's put it this way. Let's say you have a video game company. Now, you are trying to get your game on as many consoles as possible to make back the money that you spent on developing the game. Now, even if a company like Nintendo has inferior hardware, like I said before, you can get it to run on that console. But if you come out and say that we can't make money on your console, then Nintendo is like, well, forget you then. You can't bring your game to our console, whether you can make it run or not. They don't want to alienate themselves from potential sources of income. So they say, well, we couldn't get the game to run on this console, which is not a lie, because it's an omission of the truth, because yes, they can't get the game to run, but they'll run like arse on the console. So what's the point? If people are going to look at the PlayStation and Xbox versions and say, yeah, I'll go and get those versions too, because now it's a different dynamic, because now you can say, well, the Switch, you can play that on the go, so that's different. But back then with the Wii, you had the motion control thing for a while, but then you had to move, then you had to connect. So then the motion control made it not unique anymore, and that's when this Wii numbers went in the toilet. Boom. Because everything that was unique about the Wii was gone. And that's something that I'm going to be paying very close attention to if Google Stadia works and if Microsoft is doing the same thing. What's going to become of the Switch then?
My point is this, man. I ain't refuting anything you said. I don't think neither one of us are saying a non-truth. I'm just feeling like there's aspects that I'm saying that y'all not acknowledging. You cannot isolate and neglect a whole fan base, clown the fan base, joke the fan base because they like a certain platform or a certain company. Clown that company. That's what was happening. And then that fan base stuck with that company, 3DS and whatever they made home console. Now we to the Switch. And you expect you think that just because, let me finish, just because a vocal minority is making crazy or extreme arguments on Twitter and YouTube, that the majority has forgotten about how they were treated.
So you're saying that? So you go ahead, K-Bone. Yeah.
So thing is for these console makers and understand this, not console makers, sorry, the game makers. Understand this. This is all about money.
Right.
Whatever decisions that they make are not for the fans, and I'm sorry, whatever decision that Nintendo make is not for the fans. But it is for bottom line.
Right.
And I want everyone to know that these companies are making decisions for their bottom line. But yes, they may care about you. But
no,
understand.
See that again. That's what I mean, y'all.
And none of them do.
I haven't got to my point yet. I haven't got to my point.
But it ain't got nothing to do with what I just said.
No, I was just saying that to lay down the ground before I say what I'm about to say.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay. With these third companies, and like I said, that they're all out for money. With your point, believing everything that you said, Level, it's a lose-lose. If they spent all their money and all their resources to make the game look just like it does 1-for-1 for the console, you're saying it's pointless because the Nintendo fans who have been there and stuck there for all the years are not going to buy it anyway because of all they've been treated for all these years. So as a company that's making a game, what is the point?
This is what I mean. Y'all comparing y'all. I'll be making one statement about.
I'm trying to say exactly what you said. But
you making what I'm saying. What I was saying is, let me state it again, and just give me a chance to state it.
All right,
we having two different arguments, and I'm answering one, and then you say something else, and you take what I just said and put that there. I'm like, no, I wasn't talking about that. Okay, when it comes to the fan base and why the games weren't like you get a third party title and it didn't sell. I'm talking about the Wii U in that era. Oftentimes at that time, it felt like you was getting leftover trash, or like when Mass Effect came out and they put it on the Wii U. And then you turn around and you have Mass Effect, the trilogy, on the Xbox and the PlayStation, all 3 games for cheaper than the actual Wii U game that's old. And you release it at the exact same time. And then you look like, okay, idiot, I got a PlayStation 4 too. Why would I go give you $59 for a Wii U version when I could give you $19 for a trilogy? Who gonna make that type of purchase? Then you come to the Switch. Where was third party at the beginning of the Switch? Oh, they wasn't nowhere to be seen because it has to sell first. It has to prove. That's what Reggie kept saying. We got to prove ourselves in the market. We got to prove ourselves in the market. Then you release Doom. Wolfenstein is coming out in a month or 2. Do you release it at the exact same time as the other companies? No. You hold it off until 7, 8 months later. Dragon Ball Z running off of Unreal Engine 3, which is built for the Switch, is capable of running. Do you bring it to the Switch? No. You make us port bed for it. Oh, if you want it, go to Twitter. I see these are things y'all don't. That some of y'all. I'm not saying.
No. We discussed the Dragon Ball thing. That was because they didn't want people. They had just released Xenoverse 2, and if they had announced that Fighters was coming, nobody would have touched that.
Well, my point that you've proven a point. You got a new Dragon Ball game coming to a new system. But instead of putting the new Dragon Ball Z game on there, you put the old one on there while you putting the new one on the other 2 platforms.
I think it was already in development.
It doesn't matter. You could have ported it. That's my point.
You could have ported it. What do you mean you could have ported it?
I'm talking about the old one. I think it was already
the Xenoverse.
All right.
I don't know what happened there.
I think it's something with his connection. It's interference, but it's all. What I'm saying is, Keith, they knew Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, or Dragon Ball Z Fight, however you say it. That game was in development. We also know that it was easy to port to the Switch. You knew this game was in development, but you chose to put the older game on the Switch.
What they didn't know is that the Switch was going to take off the way that it did.
Well, it don't. That's my point, D2.
So why would you put?
Let me finish my point. I've been listening to y'all good. Let me finish my point before you add yours. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
When the PlayStation 4 come out, when the Xbox One came out, do they make that same thought and the decision? Oh, we got to wait until see what it's going to do. No, they don't do it.
They sell anyway.
Wait a minute.
They don't have to wait. They third party gonna make their money. Why wait?
You know why they don't have to wait? You know why they don't have to wait, K-Bomb? Because they have set a precedent with that fan base.
Right.
Now,
exactly. Yes.
So if you constantly, if you set the precedent, with those fan bases, you're also setting the precedent with the Nintendo fan base. When you got a new system that can run these games, that is built to run the games, and you still choose at the beginning of that system that this system, not the PlayStation 4, not the Xbox One, when they're new, they don't have to prove anything. We're going to put our games there.
Wasn't that the same story they said about the Wii U? That this system can play those games?
They've said this
no. I'm talking Nintendo.
Right. They have said this about every
Nintendo said that.
What? Said what?
Said this system, because that system was supposed to be for the hardcore. That's what the Wii U was supposed to be for. No. The reason I'm saying that is that you heard that same rhetoric. Those third companies heard the same rhetoric with the Wii U, and the Wii U just so now as a new console, do you just fully blindly believe it, or do you be cautious with it?
Let's go back to the Wii U. Do you remember some of the games that was at the actual show that didn't show up on the game after the PlayStation 4 and Xbox got announced? You don't remember all the games that was there at the show. The one from Ubisoft where they showed the dude using it was what was that game, Keith? Talk on it. It was made by Ubisoft. It was It was a shooter, and it was on the Wii U. They showed it in the back room.
That game. Did you talk about that Killer Freaks game?
Not Killer Freaks.
Oh, because that came Zombie U.
It was like it was a shooter game. It was Soulcom, something like that. It was a game in that realm. Where
I know what you're talking about. That was Tom Clancy's
yes,
something.
that was being shown running on the Wii U. And when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One got announced, they pulled it. Also, the same thing happened with a few other games that were scheduled to come to the Wii U. Matter of fact, the people who made the racing game said they had Crysis running, and EA chose not to said shut it down, and they didn't do it. So these third-party companies chose to abandon the Wii U, left it hanging, and went to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One because of the power. Again, it was about power, and they moved them games over there. But when the Wii U was the thing, that's why I said the Wii U released 1 year too late. Nintendo waited too long. They should have released it when they first talked about it, and they held it a whole nother year, showed it at E3 twice. That was a mistake. I ain't saying it's I'm not saying it's all third-party fault, but third party left the Wii U, abandoned it, and went to the other two platforms. That's what happened. We was there to see them games. Them games never showed up. So
I agree. They did wait too late.
Right. So you can't make it be that it's only Nintendo's fan base. These third parties have created a precedence with this fan base, no different than they had with the Sony and the Xbox fan base. Y'all don't have to. The Sony, even in its worst state, ain't never had to sit there and wonder.
I don't believe it's all Nintendo and Nintendo fans. The third party had a big. I mean, they definitely had a role to play in this. So I don't think I've ever said that was just Nintendo.
If you continue to show, so you get the Switch, and this is why I kept bringing up these games were showing up after the other versions. That's why I said this. To me, this is the first game that I would really judge the sales. If it don't sell, then that tell me, hey, we might be being hypocritical.
I still think NBA 2K was the first experience of that, because
NBA 2K, the physical version came out later. K-Bun. They didn't give you the physical version.
This year or last year?
Both versions.
Okay, like I said, I was trying to find it. I haven't found it. Maybe that's true.
I
didn't find that when I was researching about it.
Also, you had to buy SD card because they had the game spliced between the cartridge, and you had to download the other part.
Whose fault is that one?
I mean, you gotta give Nintendo credit for this too, because they have made a lot of bad decisions. But also,
I agree with that.
And you also have to you look at Bayonetta on the Wii U. Dr. Trey had to go out and make a whole YouTube channel and say, "Hey, let's support this game." He had to talk to the fan base. You know what I'm saying? This is a game. But just think about that. Like, I'm not trying to knock third party for what they did or didn't do, but you also can say that Nintendo didn't give them anything to not justify their move.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
It takes two to tango,
right?
And you have to look at the genesis of where things started, in addition to how people react, because somebody can start something, but you don't have to keep it going. And third parties could have been bigger than Nintendo was back in the 90s and said, even though you gave us this jacked up situation of having cartridges, we're not going to abandon you. They had every right to do that, but they could have just said, you know what, we're still gonna stick around. We're still gonna honor our promise to bring. I'm talking about Square. We're still gonna honor our promise to bring Final Fantasy VII to the N64. As difficult as it might be, we're gonna honor our promise to do that. And maybe that could have cleared up a lot of things and made things a lot easier for third parties in the relationship with Nintendo. But, as long as you have a situation where you have people that don't want to break off doing what they're doing before, you're never going to have a reconciliation. Because Nintendo, like I said, they chose to go a different direction. They gave us a powerful console, but then they gimped it by not giving us the media that really show off the power twice. And then they said, okay, we're just not going to even do that at all. We're just going to come up with an idea of how we want to play games and then build around that idea. And they did that with the Wii. It worked. They did it with the Wii U. It didn't work.
No, that ain't what they did with the Wii U. That's not what they did with the Wii U. They did do it with the Wii. My personal feelings is the Wii U, they came out with the narrative, this is for you. This is for a hardcore gamer, and they had the games there. Third party was supposed to be on board. I remember the montage.
Okay. Pause there.
No.
Go ahead.
Why would Nintendo say that? Because they realized the things that they've done in the past alienated third party and also alienated their consumer base.
All right,
so
and that's
that is a very, very, very. I cannot see from a business standpoint. I cannot see why Nintendo would pretty much put the foundation of success of their hardware on third parties. That makes
let's look at what Nintendo did with the Wii U. Why did they have such a sparse amount of games for the initial launch and long into the Wii U life?
Say it one more time.
Why did Nintendo not have enough games to launch the Wii U?
You have to ask them that question. They certainly had enough games to launch the Switch.
Well, I'm finna show why.
And that's one of the reasons why the Switch got off to the success that it did, because they had several years because of the failure of the Wii U.
But let's look at
they were able to say, okay, this isn't working. Let's get ready for our next console. So they were already making strides to get the Switch going, so that way they could just carpet bomb when they release the Switch and have first party game after first party game after first party game. And I said before that they wouldn't be able to keep up with that process because they had been working on these things longer than you normally would, because you don't expect your console generation to be over in 2 years, which it pretty much was with the Switch, with the Wii U.
Let me go back to that quote that Miyamoto said. They didn't know how to work with HD yet.
Right, and that's what I was about to go to, Keith. But I was finna also say we have evidence, guys. We have 2 E3s that showcase the Wii U. We had the one where third party was there with their games being shown, and then we had the following year where none of them games were there.
The sizzle reel.
Right. No,
we also had the tech demo that showed us graphics that were never on the Wii U.
But we saw
that did happen too.
Right, but those games was said to be tech demos. These other games were actually shown running and being played, and there's testimonies of several different third-party companies who said they had their game up and running. Criterion, I think it was, who said they had who was the group that made the Burnout, they had Burnout or Need for Speed already running, and EA would not let them release it. And they had Crysis running. The other group that had the Alien game had it announced and prepared to come to the Switch. You had
they got Need for Speed wanted what was that? Need for Speed wanted the woman that had the weird I had that for the Wii U, so they got the Need for Speed game. And then you talk about Project Cars. That game was never running on the Wii U at all.
Well, they got footage.
That was 100% live from them. They used the Wii U to basically prop themselves up for Microsoft and Sony. That's them. That was them. What's the name of that company? I forget what the name is. But they lied. They straight up lied. They never had any intentions of bringing that game to the Wii U. There was never anything running on it. Never.
So my point is, all this was being touted for the launch of the Wii U, and none of it happened. And then you see Nintendo has nothing from their own first party. Now, if you operating like Sony and Microsoft, you see the same thing. But the difference is third party shows up. Third party fills up Sony's lineup until look how long it took us to get Uncharted 4 from Sony. They had third party holding them over all that time.
Mm-hmm. So you're telling me that if Nintendo had a console that was on par with the Xbox when the PlayStation 4, that third parties wouldn't have left?
I'm saying it didn't matter if they had a system on par or not. the relationship and the way that they had the Nintendo and their fan base, how they treated them, they didn't care what they had. That's what
and we keep saying, like, who started that bad relationship? Nintendo.
Okay, I can see there. I can't argue. I don't know who laid the egg first.
Nintendo laid the egg. They hatched it. They scrambled it. They put hot sauce on it. They did everything because I mean I don't even want to get into all the dirty things Nintendo has done over the past. You know, we don't need to go there. But that's the Excitement Man Studios. That's the name of it. Yeah, thank you. You know, but that's the thing is that, you know, it wasn't until recently that Nintendo thought it was necessary to start repairing relationships with third parties, and that has a lot to do with leadership change. You know, when what's his name came into play.
Nia, thank you, Nia. Nia, thank you. Let me read her quote because I might have didn't say it well enough. With the Wii U launch, the Wii U launch was sparse because they gave third party a chance to shine and not overshadow them by Nintendo first party. And same with 3DS, and that's what I remember them saying. I remember Iwata saying because that was one of the criticism. We can't compete with your first party titles. So Nintendo said they will pull back their first party titles and give that space to third party. But when PlayStation 4 and Xbox One got announced, third party left, and Nintendo was left with Mario U, and that was and Ubisoft Zombie U, and that was it.
Okay, this is the launch lineup for the Switch. I mean, I keep getting these things mixed. Wii U. You had Mario Brothers U, you had Nintendo Land, you had Zombie U third party, you had Assassin's Creed third party, Batman Arkham City third party, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 third party, Darksiders 2 third party, Just Dance 4 third party, Tekken Tag Tournament third party, FIFA 13 third party, Mass Effect 3 third party, Sonic All-Stars Racing third party.
When did those games come out though?
2000. It's all part of the launch lineup. 2012.
I remember none of them were launch lineups.
Yes, they are. I'm looking at it right now.
Man, I remember this. What I remember for launch lineup. I had because I went to buy them. They had Batman. They had Mass Effect. They had Wii U, Super Mario Brothers U. They had Zombie U, and Assassin's Creed was them three. I mean, them games. The one game that everybody was waiting on was for Ubisoft was Rayman Legend. They pushed it back to launch with the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 version.
I agree.
They pushed that back. That left us with a whole gap where you didn't have nothing but the Lego game. Lego City was the only game you had for almost 7 months straight.
Again, you know, I'm looking at all these games right here. I mean, it was at 2013 where people said, okay, we're done with the Wii U.
And them were old games too at that.
But
I'm just saying, man, we got
Zombie U was an old game.
I didn't say Zombie U. A lot of the games that you named were old games. I'm not saying every game, but my thing is we gotta and to not prolong this. All I'm saying, guys, is while I agree with Mortal Kombat 11, while I agree with Mortal Kombat 11, and it does not look good, I'm just saying there has been a long conditioning of Nintendo, not Nintendo the company, but the fans that buy these products. There has been a long conditioning of their minds and their feelings with these companies and how they were treated. That part, I'm not saying it's an excuse for everything, but you got to factor that in. People remember this stuff. People remember, and so if you were forced to only support first party, that's what you do. And that started, it might be Nintendo fault. It might have been the relationship Nintendo had with these third party and how they was basically dominating over them on the NES and Super NES and not letting them do certain things and forcing them to buy their cartridge and forcing them not to put their games on other platforms if they put it here. I agree. You're right. Nintendo did that. So we'll say Nintendo laid the egg. But if a company for 20 years have been trying to make up for that, and you still you still got a platform that has people there that you can make stuff for, and you say, I don't care about y'all.
Hold on right there. As a former Nintendo fan, I can say that that's balderdash because you lied to me with the footage that you showed of Link fighting Ganondorf in the Space World 2000 video. You lied to me with the footage you showed of Link fighting the spider in the 2011 demo.
Now that wasn't a lie.
That was a lie because it was not running. That was not running on any Wii U hardware at all. It was a lie.
No, it said this was what was capable with the Wii U.
No, that is what they said, and it was a lie.
I'm pretty sure they could have did that.
No, they couldn't. No, they couldn't have. They couldn't have. They couldn't. That was not running on any Wii U hardware. First of all, whenever you see tech demos, footage, and stuff at E3, a lot of that stuff is not even running on actual consoles. It's running off of what their projections are of the actual. All the companies do it, but like I said, that was not.
Sony is the most egregious.
There was no. So and there's so many times Nintendo has lied to me and basically said that we don't need you anymore. The people that helped build us to what we are, we don't need you anymore. We got our new fans that are into the Fire Emblems and the Animal Crossings and the Pikmins. We're going to cater to them. So you go kick rocks. So, okay, fine. I have not missed them in 20 years.
I would say this, Alex. I believe that there's a lot of Laps fans, and I also believe there's a lot of also fans who stuck through that and are kind of soiled with third party. They just focus on first party. I'm not one of them, but I believe it's a healthy share of both. I'm just saying you got to look at all sides. You just can't always, like putting the game out 9 months after you put another version out, as if Alex Prime and the Leveled Head and the K-Bomb and the Keith Norris and the D2K don't exist, or Nia don't exist, who have all these platforms. I'm not going to wait for the Switch version, and you're going to charge me $59.99, and now the game is $19 over here. Who going to do that?
Well, that's a Nintendo issue again. They could say, nope, you're not doing that on our console.
But then what does it matter when Nintendo fans don't care about price drops anyway? $59 is good enough for quality.
Man, I care about price drops. I want price drops.
Well, we have a fan base that said it was genius for them to charge you $80 for a cardboard box. So, after that, I said anything's possible.
It's genius because they can get the money off the front end. It ain't gonna sell anymore.
I'm paying $80 for a Happy Meal box.
So my point is, we can get done with this. Only thing I'm arguing is, and I feel like everything y'all said is legit. It's fair to be argued, but I don't feel like what I'm saying is any less fair. Third party got to treat Nintendo fan base no differently than they treat other fan bases. Like I said, at the beginning of a generation, a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One hasn't sold. So you're taking the gamble on those platforms. So why is it any different when the Nintendo platform come out and all of a sudden now they have to jump through all these hoops before you choose to put your stuff there? They all Xbox, PlayStation hadn't sold nothing. But you put your stuff there to ensure that it sells. So you got to call it, to me, just as much as Nintendo fans are hypocritical, these developers.
Thank you for saying that, by the way.
Hypocritical. Oh, I ain't never said Nintendo fans ain't hypocritical. I've been one of the few that say it.
You kind of did. You said that if the people don't buy the Mortal Kombat 11 for the Switch, then they're hypocritical.
I said, far as this is why I said that, D2K. This is the first day and date. Everything else has had a reason for a person to go elsewhere. This time, you don't really have a reason. It's here for you on your supposed preferred platform day and date with the other versions. Now, what's your excuse? That's what I'm saying. Every other game has had an excuse why you can argue an excuse for why that didn't sell.
Okay, I can get down with that. So now we're eliminating excuses. Okay, cool.
I'm saying I'm eliminating excuse for this one. With me, you don't have no excuse. If you want MK11 and you said you want these games on your system to go, then buy the game. If not, shut up.
Thank you. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, I'm with that with this game. But Harai said that won't happen. Anyway, K-Bomb, Keith, y'all got anything else?
Fuzzy.
Yeah, I got one thing.
Go ahead.
I think if you look at this whole conversation, this argument or whatever, if you look at it like a puzzle, if you just take your argument, everybody else's argument, and just put it together, I think you get the full picture. I don't think there's one right side to say it's these people, it's these people, it's all of it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that that's what I love about our podcast. See, guys, we don't agree on everything.
Oh, we don't. Oh no, we don't.
But guess what, folks? That's the point. D2K got good points. K-Bomb has good points. Keith has good points. But guess what? Levelhead got some good ones too. I got some bad ones though. I had some bad ones.
That too, Red. You said that up real nice. You said that up real nice.
That was like, ooh, wee.
I was wrong on that. I was hanging. I was like, man, I don't think I should have had him look up them stats for that game.
You threw that jab and left that arm out there a little bit too long. I came and killed them ribs.
Yeah, I was like, I think I hung myself on that. I think we brought that up. But anyway, point is, man, like Keith said, all of us are making valid points. My thing is, when we was having the conversation, is, man, it is some disgruntled fans. I ain't saying Nintendo. I ain't absolving Nintendo, the company, for the mess it's done. That's why I don't defend Nintendo like that. I don't go to bat for Nintendo. When Nintendo doing stupid stuff, I call them. Like, that was stupid. The Wii U showed me Nintendo did a lot of stupid stuff. So, and they was doing stupid stuff before the Wii U. But these companies like EA and Activision and all, there are people here that will buy your stuff if you treat them right. That's all I'm saying. I feel like 1 million, 2 million, 500,000, that's good numbers on anything Nintendo name on it. I think them good numbers for third party. At this point, it will never be what Sony and Microsoft is, because that's what runs them platforms. First party does not rule the day on them two platforms. Matter of fact, Xbox, you might well say, is a third party company, is a third party platform
because they don't have any first party.
They don't have any first party, and Sony, I say, sharing a platform with third party. Nintendo has enough first party to get away with third party not being dominant on the platform, but that still ain't an excuse. Y'all better go out here and buy this Mortal Kombat if y'all don't want me to call y'all hypocrites. I'm contemplating which one I'm gonna buy. After seeing it, I'm like, I don't know. But I'm probably gonna get it on the Switch because I take my Switch a lot of different places, and I don't really turn on my PlayStation as much. So I don't know yet. I'm still contemplating which one I'm gonna get. I'm definitely not getting both. I did that with NBA 2K19. I ain't doing that ever again. I ain't buying both games.
So which one do you play?
Depending on who at the house. Neither, for real. Because I ain't really a sports. If I was with K-Bum and King Cooper, I'll be playing it. But I'll be playing it on the PlayStation. But I probably won't buy NBA 2K20 for the Switch. I probably won't buy it. Probably be PlayStation, whatever. So, because that's where most folks gonna want to play it. When friends come over, they don't want the Switch version. They want the PlayStation version. I'm just being real. There ain't no point in me fronting about it. So that's what it is, man. So what's the point of me spending $100 for a game I ain't gonna play and my friends ain't gonna want to play? I might well spend that $59 and get it on the PlayStation. All right. So oh man, active gamer life up in here. What's up, man? We got Active Gamer Life. Who else up here? Y'all heard us arguing.
It's definitely worth going back and watching again.
Yeah, the one named Shadows in here. My tablet died, so I can't give you the shout outs or your claps. But anyway, all you guys is in the live chat, man. We appreciate y'all being here. Active Gamer Life said Bayonetta was trash on the PlayStation 3. Yes, it was. I bought it used and took it back. That's how trash it was. I did. I bought it used for $9 and took it back and said, give me something else. I think I got Devil May Cry for the PlayStation 3 over it. Any other final comments before we get out of here?
But we got smashed, though.
Hey, man, Nintendo, if you listening, man, us Nintendo fans, we just tired of saying, it don't look that bad.
That is the perfect way to wrap this whole thing up. That deserves some claps. That deserves some claps.
I can't get a B2. I can't. Let me ask you.
Oh, that was good.
I'm curious. I see Active Gamer Life. I see Alex. I see Nia. Haruai. I'm trying to say these names right. Let me know. Are y'all going to buy? Which version are y'all going to buy? Because I know all you guys have more than one system. Are you going to buy MK? If you're going to buy MK11, are you buying it for the Switch, both, or another platform? I just want to know real quick before we get out of here. Just let me know. And I know I'm delayed, so y'all going to. I'm not getting it. That's video game her. Okay. Who else?
I agree with Nia.
Not getting it, Alex Prime. You're not getting it on neither one, Alex? That's shocking. Okay.
I agree with Alex.
I'm not even. The thing is, I'm not even interested in getting the game at all.
Active Gamer Life said not the Vaseline version.
Oh, that's so cold.
Woo.
If I did it, it'll be in like a year on CD keys.
Don't be saying that, Nia.
Oh, okay. I don't like fighting games. Like I said, I'm not for sure, man. I'm put it like this. I ain't big on Mortal Kombat. I like it, and I got like a love-hate. It ain't Street Fighters like Street Fighters. I'm more of a Street Fighters Tekken guy. So I don't know.
It got too gruesome for me. It's like they're trying to recapture that shock value that the original had. With the gore. It's like, I don't need to see the X-rays and spleens bursting up, and I don't need to see all that. That's like, gross.
I bought it MK10, and if the microtransactions and all the
I forgot about that. Yeah.
It just ain't worth it. I mean, the storyline was trash to me. I didn't feel like the storyline was anything. I don't feel like it's just what I liked about fighting games. These newer models for fighting games kind of take you out of that. Just give me the bosses that I gotta climb up to and beat and get the endings and do what you did back in the day. I don't need all this extra stuff, and I don't care. Did you play
Dead or Alive 6 yet?
No, I was contemplating. Man, I like that. I was contemplating buying it, but
I played it. It's nice. It's pretty nice. It feels more like old school, like Dead or Alive Ultimate 2. That kind of feel to it.
I might have to look into it. I saw it a few times, but the last one that they released.
Thank you, Active, but we got smashed, bros, though.
I don't have it loaded, man.
I appreciate that, Active. Y'all some fools out there.
Anyway, we hope y'all enjoyed this. We looking at almost 2 hours of podcast, and I'm gonna let these guys go.
2 hours of podcast, an hour 45 of arguing.
I mean, hey,
that was fun.
I'm gonna listen to this at work, and I'm gonna be cringing at all the stuff I probably said I didn't catch what I said. But anyway, y'all stay up. I'm gonna let these dudes sign out. Make sure y'all get out some kind of capacity and get that end game in your life. That's happening this week. It feels like a holiday, don't it? It kind of feel like a holiday. But anyway, I'm gonna try to get out, sneak out sometime. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. I'm gonna catch it at some point.
It's gonna catch you sleeping at 2 in the morning.
I ain't gonna be asleep. You ain't gotta worry about that. But I'm gonna let these guys sign out minus D2K. Keith, go ahead.
Man, it's been a wonderful podcast, guys. It was very tamed and non-arguing. No, just it was great. I can't wait to the next topic. I can't. Everybody have a good night. Be safe. Go out and watch Shazam. You know, it's a good movie.
Yes, it is.
And enjoy yourself.
K-Bomb 20.
For sure. I'm happy I got the alien out of my house. I got that fixed. That robot that was strangling me, apparently, as Level was saying. So hopefully we have a better job next time. But yeah, I enjoyed the podcast, man. Enjoyed going back and forth. Enjoyed it. Talk to you guys next time. And next time we have an in-game conversation. So make sure y'all guys check it out.
And speaking for me and D2K, thank y'all for keeping us lit in the live chat, letting us know what we was missing, chiming in, giving us thoughts to argue. Nia, thank you for supporting your boy on a few of my topics. I appreciate it there. But anyway, this was the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Hopefully we'll get up with you guys. We'll definitely get up with y'all next week because we got to talk about this end game. Stay safe, stay blessed, and see you. Deuces.